Hey everybody, I'm here today to talk to you about a reason to fail the driving test, and that reason is turning too early. Now, believe it or not, turning too early is something that a lot of beginner drivers do frequently. They struggle with this problem frequently, and it's something that occurs on the driving test quite often. Now, I'm going to explain the one simple situation that will pretty much cause you to almost immediately fail the test, if not immediately fail the test. Okay, so very simple. It's likely to cause you to fail the test on the spot if you're waiting to make a left-hand turn on a main road. So you're on a main road, you're waiting to make a left-hand turn, and let's assume that you're driving on the right side of the road in this situation. So when you're waiting to make your left, you're going to be crossing over the lanes of oncoming traffic, okay? You have to wait for a gap that is big enough for you to proceed. If you turn too early before you have a big enough gap, you'll likely lose points on your driving test, okay? I know someone who literally was an awesome driver and they passed the test, right? But they didn't fail because they just barely turned too early. But yeah, and the driving test examiner was probably being very lenient with them because of the rest of their test. But I know someone who was waiting to make a left across the lanes of traffic, and they made that left, and they just made it when there was probably just too small of a gap. The gap was just barely too small, and the driving test examiner docked points from them, okay? And the driving test examiner said that was a little bit too early of a turn. And the driving test examiner probably would have failed them if they had done poorly for the rest of the test, but they had done everything else very well. So you need to wait for a big enough gap. So one of two things can happen. You can turn too early, and you can, the driving test examiner will let you make the turn. Even though it's unsafe, they know you're not going to get hit. They'll let you make the turn, and they'll probably either make you lose points or they'll fail you depending on how unsafe it was. Or even worse is if the driving test examiner has to push the brake pedal to prevent you from making that turn. If the gap is unsafe to the point where it scares them and they have a secondary brake pedal because you're using your instructor's car and they have to press that brake pedal, that in most cases is an automatic failure. In most cases, if the driving test examiner has to touch their brake pedal, the extra brake pedal, it's an automatic failure. So turning too early can cause you to fail the driving test. My thing is this, I'm going to make this very simple. Almost every single driving test examiner on earth would rather you wait for an extra safe gap than take a chance with a gap that's a little bit too small. Meaning they'd rather you turn too late than turn too early. That's because their life is in jeopardy. Their safety is in jeopardy when you turn too early. So they'd rather you turn too late. And it's better if you lose points for turning too late than fail for turning too early. Think about it that way. And that's it. In this video, I've gone over a reason to fail the driving test, and that reason is turning too early. And I've given you a little story about someone that I knew that lost points and could have failed because they turned too early. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.